It's hard to believe that a full season is on its way out just as quickly as it came around, but this is going to be it, the final race of the IMSA Sportscar Championship. Hello and welcome one and all here to RaceSpotTV and to the Autodromo Enzo Itino Ferrari, known for short as Imola. I'm Lorenzo. Joining me today is Ryan Walker in the commentary booth with Connery Maddock downstairs in the producer's chair for the season finale. What a season it has been. We have had thrills, we've had spills, and we've had everything in between. And now we're ready to do it one more time as we come full circle to the country Italy, where it started at Monza 12 weeks ago. It's looking to be a very stacked field tonight. Got drivers like Johan Harth and Casey Kerwin once again making a return in the LMP2 class. My goodness me, Ryan, I mean, what a season it has been so far. Like I said, we've had just a bit of everything, really. So I think we're both really excited for the final 45-minute race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great season, and yeah, like you said, we started at Monza, and we started in Italy, we're finishing in Italy. So yeah, it's great, and I know one of my favourite tracks on the service, and I think we should be in for an absolutely fantastic race to round out the season.
It's a very fast track, a very difficult track at that, from the very long straightaway down to the Tamburello chicane, the first corner complex. I think one of the most difficult portions of the track to look out for is going to be the Acqui Mineral complex, and it's a bit of an interesting corner, isn't it? Because it's a downhill braking zone first off for a right-hand kink. You're braking through that kink immediately for another hard one, which then cuts back to the left in a little bit of a sweeping motion in the run into the Variante Alta chicane. So it is very, very easy to run wide through that chicane and absolutely destroy a lap with the slowdown penalty. In fact, Casey Kerwin just had his second lap invalidated by getting the slowdown penalty in that section of the track by running just a little bit too wide. Very easy to do. I think that's going to be one place to watch out for today.
Yeah, absolutely. That chicane is one of those. It's basically, you don't want to get a slowdown on the exit, especially if you've got loads of cars behind you or in front of you, because basically you slow down and you might cause a bit of a bottleneck effect. But there's several places you can make a move around here. But I think the best chance of someone making a move is down that not really home straight, but kind of like home kink, if you like, heading down to turn 2 and turn 3, what's down to the Variante Alta Tamburello section.
Vatsa especially, which is the last corner complex, is going to be very, very crucial as we watch Martin Senizin right now driving around the track in his number 27 Audi R8 LMS. That is going to be one of the very, very crucial things to look at today, is going to be that final corner, because it is just so crucial to get a good run out of that so you can get the maximum amount of draft down the front straightaway up to the pit straight as well. We could very much see a couple drag races coming right down to the wire. Because you got to remember, the start-finish line, well, there's a couple kinks along the pit straight there and by the pit wall there, both to the right. The pit straight is just before the second right-hand kink in the pit straight. That is the where the timing line is for the start-finish line. So it's a bit of an interesting place for a finish line to be sure, but it's still far enough down that we could be seeing some really entertaining drag races when we get into these final few minutes of the race.
Yep, and another thing you might see as well tonight, with Imola being such a tight track and passing being a bit difficult at times, you might see some people maybe doing something with regards to pit strategy, maybe to pitting early to get out of sequence.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because we've seen a couple of drivers really kind of strategize, shall we say, with the pit strategies. I mean, usually we see drivers try to stretch it out as long as they possibly can, take less fuel later on. Sometimes, though, like at Silverstone, if you remember last week, we see drivers that have tried to pit earlier and it's ended up shooting them in the foot. If you remember, I believe this was in the GTD class just last week this took place. Somebody pitted a couple laps early, came out right in front of a huge battle for position behind him, and ended up getting all sorts of slowed up by it. It was just an absolute disaster. Ended up losing out on the position he was fighting for by a good second and a half or so. So pit strategies are going to be very, very crucial, because this is one of those tracks where passing lap cars can oftentimes be easier said than done.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, basically, if you're stuck in a pack as well, it makes it very difficult. So you never know. You might see, like you say, some people pitting early, some people trying to go as long as possible. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something to keep a lookout for.
So let's take a look now at the starting grid for today's races. Qualifying has just come to a close. to kick things off, as always, in LMP2. Started off with Johan Hart on pole position. Tomas Carla down in the second position. Alexandre Vincias de Brito rounding out the podium positions. Valentin Mandanesh in fourth position. Andrea Carrera Martins in fifth. Alan Albert in sixth. Scott Wood seventh. Claudio Vesparelli in the eighth position. In ninth is going to be Andrei Silvinsky and Nathan Block rounding out the top 10. Borja Zazo in 11th. Calvin Chu in 12th. Lorenzo Zoffoli in the 13th position. Cesar Cabral in 14th. Casey Kerwin rounded out a 15-car LMP2 field, not setting the time. Had both laps invalidated for running wide at one of the corner complexes towards the middle of the track. In GTLM, Vlad Kimichev started off on the pole, just under 2/10 behind us. Andre Bocher in second. Julian Sonnen in third. Reese Doolin in fourth. Is going to be Tyson Mayer in fifth. Villa Levaninen in sixth. Christopher Hyman in seventh. Kenton Kosh in eighth. Fabio Underdrus in ninth. Corey Whiteman in 10th. Freak 10 Kate in 11th. Anton Vertedwev in 12th position. And then rounded out the 14-car GTLM field is going to be Tobias Ogrodnik and Jack Thompson to round out the field for today. GTD, final class of the day. Matthew Stagg once again on pole position. Shorter margin than usual this time around, though. Just under a 10th and a quarter behind is Philip Bereswell. Francesco Urata in third. Philip Mayer in the fourth position. Martin Senzian in fifth. Anton Titus in sixth. Gianni Lejo in seventh. Burak Talha Bolat in eighth. Eric Newman in ninth. And it is going to be Thomas Kovler rounding out a 10-car GT field with no time on the board. So 4 cars not set in time. Keep an eye on Casey Kerwin in LMP2, though. He has got a lot of work ahead of him. He wants to finish high today. Final words from you here, Ryan, before we go green.
Yeah, I think this should be a great race, and I think don't be surprised if you see a bit of a bottleneck into turn 2 and turn 3, just because of everyone having to slow down really quickly. But as we come around the final few corners, I think this is going to be fantastic. And predicting a winner in LMP2, I think Johan Hart or Tommaso Calla are going to be the ones to keep out for it, as we're just about to come up to the green flag.
Pace car pulls off in the hands now of Johan Hart. Tommaso Carla hanging right around by third place, letting Johan Hart maybe start a little bit ahead. Hart is on the loud pedal, 3 wide already in the background. We are off and away for LMP2 in the season finale of the Irish IMSA Sportscar Championship here at Imola. It's a great jump from Johan Hart, who is going to be well and truly clear of the field as they all thunder down towards turn number 1, side by side for third on back. And so far, very clean start in LMP2 for GTLM now. They're now in the run down to turn number 1, and they're also trying to duck their way through a couple cars onto the anti-cut curves, but it bumps. One car's gone clean off the circuit, and that is Julian Soda that just comes back on. And now, back for GTD.
Yeah, it looks like GTD got underway without any issues. They're heading into turn 2 and turn 3 now, and they've managed to get through the first few corners relatively clean, and at the moment it's no incidents to report.
Major incidents at least, no big pile-ups this time round for GTD, which is obviously a very good sight to see, unlike the massive pile-up we saw in the before they got to start finish line last week over at Silverstone. For LMP2, though, still a really good launch off the line for Johan Hart, who's just dived his way through the Varianta Alta chicane, running wide of the AstroTurf there. Very slippery surface. Got to be very, very careful of that for sure. My goodness me. So LMP2 has had a very, very good run so far in this one. It's this has so far been a very, very clean start to the race, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And Johan Hart, I think he kind of just packed everyone up before the start, just to try and get a jump. And yeah, he used that to his advantage and got a great start. And at the moment, he's got a bit of a gap, but not too far behind as Alexandra Vinicius de Brito in second place.
Take a look on board with Tyson Mayer here, fourth place running in, oh my goodness me, hold on, we got to get back up to LMP2 because Casey Kerwin just tried to go 3 wide of one car, skated off into the gravel. Alan Albert has had a major off. They were 3 wide in the run down to turn 1. Kerwin went for a dive bomb move, got into the grass, and Albert just trying to muscle his way through it. It didn't quite work out for him. Take a look at the replay here. This was in the run down to turn number 1.
Yep, so it looks like everyone's kind of just bunched up at the moment, heading down the home straight, and it looks like Casey Kerwin, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but as they head down to turn one, it looks like everyone's been relatively sensible at the moment. And it's 2 wide, or just about to go 3 wide. And Casey Kerwin, I think actually Kerwin basically managed to get by without any issues. It was the people in front of him that had a bit of a little bit of a battle into turn one.
Kind of scared Alan Albert over into Nathan Block and sent both drivers off into the infield. That is definitely not what you want to see, but it was good on the Block to save that car. Not an easy thing to do in these Dallara P217s. Battle on for the race lead in GTLM, though. Vlad Kimichev has lost a bit of time to Andre Bocher. That gap just under half a second now and closing fast.
Yep, and Andre Bocher is pretty much someone I've watched in iRacing in the past, and at the moment he's sitting there in second. And yeah, he managed to close the gap back up, and Vlad seems to be feeling the pressure a little bit as he head on to the home straight now. And I wonder if Andrea want to try and get by as quickly as possible, or he might do the traditional thing of just sitting behind and doing some fuel saving.
Unlike the all Porsche field we saw last week at Silverstone, it is a widely spread BMW field for the day. A couple of Corvettes and Ferraris scattered around the order as well. We got one Porsche that's way in the back as well, but it is a majority BMW here today. As we take a look back, I believe this is the battle for third place. Tyson Mayer in his BMW trying to run down the third place Corvette of Reese Newland.
Yeah, it's good to see a Corvette up there in the top 3 as well with Reese.
Oh, hello. Oh, Block's gone off. That's Block right up there in the LP2 car.
Yeah, I wonder if he might. Yeah, it looks like he's got. Wait a minute.
Oh, hello. He's gone off again, and that car is destroyed. Suspension is completely broken, so something has happened here. We're going to take a look back at this. He was in the middle of a battle. I think that's with Borja and Zazo there. So take a look here. This is down to the second chicane complex here. Oh, got tapped around. Big time off there for the 26 car. Didn't tap the barriers, but that's not going to be good at all. I think that's where the damage came from for the 26. Right on board now. Yep,
as the Block's up the inside, and it looks like Zazo. I think Zazo is just too eager, trying to keep his nose up the inside, and unfortunately, yeah, the blame has to go on Borja for that one.
Unfortunate end there for Nathan Block to end his day, to say at the very least. This is still the battle for a couple positions down here in GTLM. This is a 3-car train right now that we're watching, headed up by Christopher Hyman, who's really leading 5th on back all the way down to about the 10th position here in GTLM. And the first car he's got to worry about is, of course, right now it's Vil Ilevanu, who is closing in fast on that BMW. I took a look at the rear here from Hyman. Villeman's going to go to the outside of the 24 car, deep on the brakes, trying to pass around the outside, going to get the move done just barely. Christopher Hyman now trying to cut back as they exit Tamburello in the run into the Villeneuve chicane.
Yep, but it looks like Christopher's coming back at him and trying to get a run, but can't really do anything. That was I have to say, it was a great move by Vila, though. Managed to hold it on the outside, and yeah, I'm amazed that never ended up in contact, but thankfully the lefties are just enough room.
It's always dicey when you're trying to go side by side down to Tamburello. It's one of the hardest places you can really try to pass, especially around the outside, just because of how one line that chicane complex is. So take a look at this. We take a look for the replay on the pass. Timed that one perfectly, really, and thankfully the driver who's doing battle with decided, yeah, that's not quite worth it to go side by side to Tamburello this early. He's right on him still, though. Christopher Hyman does have the chance to come back on him still.
Absolutely, and yeah, waiting in the wings as well. And that pink BMW is Kenton Cook as well. So if these guys in front of him slip up, he could pick up a couple of positions. But actually, looking at this pack as well, it's starting to get bigger and bigger.
Indeed. So the question now is just, of course, going to be how long until the next kind of, I guess, big incident happens. We've already seen a couple of them earlier today, so we are just hoping that it's going to end up being you know, a cleaner race than we usually see today. So this is such a big train, though, in GTLM here. I mean, my goodness me, the leaders in mind have already started passing the GTD traffic, but this is definitely it's one of the shorter races, I guess you could say, on the calendar, and I think that's what's allowing these battles to stay nice and close, because look at how processional right now it is. Oh, big tap there, and that is going to send Hyman right around. Got tagged around by the pink BMW, Kenton Koch, and he's just coming right in front of a Ferrari, taking out Tobias Ogredenik as well in the midst of this one.
Yeah, just about to look at the replay now, and it looks like I think Kenton just slightly outbraked himself as they're heading down the home straight, and it's all pretty normal at this point. And then as soon as they start braking for turn one, it looks like Kenton might have. He braked too late.
Just a little tap on the back end is all it takes. So watch this green Ferrari just completely unsighted, nothing at all that Ogre and Nick could really do there in the 18 Ferrari. That is just so unfortunate, but I guess that's one way to split up a battle in a hurry. The battle is completely gone now. There you see it. Oh my goodness, man. That was a little bit silly with how late he was choosing to brake there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was nothing intentional from Kenton. He just got caught out or just missed his braking point or just carried too much speed. But back up in the LMP2 class, we've got this battle for second place between Alexandra Vinicius and Andre Correa Martins, second and third place at the moment.
And they're right now trying to get their way past some of the drivers in GTD. They're just passing Bolat, the 9th place runner in the GTD category, and here's Mercedes. So Andre Correa Martins deep on the brakes. Look at how much he closes up on DeBrito. Oh, we've had one spinner in the background. Valentin Martinez just had a spin. You saw right at the bottom of the screen. It was the number 39 car that spun around first and was caught right in front of the track and forced the number 9 machine to run out wide. So the battle still continues.
Absolutely, as they head into the final couple of corners now, this double left-hander heading onto the home straight, and can Andre get a great exit? And just up ahead of these guys in front is we've got GT traffic to contend with, so they go by one of the battles, and Andre just about collides with a GTD car, but thankfully manages to miss it. He's closing up on the slipstream, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move.
Not close enough. Marcus is going to have to wait a couple more corners, and now Rito's being held up by Anton and Titus in the GTD machine. It's so close to the back end. They're going to go 3 wide to get around him. Oh my goodness me! Mercedes onto the grass, somehow saves it. Marcus trying to cut back on her left and right to the chicane. How in the world did they not just wreck there?
That was absolutely close. That was not even threading the needle. That was kind of so close to being an accident, and I have to say, no, we have to take a look at that replay.
Take a look at this one. Look at how close this gets. Oh my gosh. That Mercedes was so far sideways in the grass, and I've driven those cars quite a bit. When they break sideways like that, you do not save that machine. So how he held on to that is an act that you're never going to see again. I mean, that just shows how good of a driver Anton Titus is to hang on to this machine. This was just, oh my word, this is just absolutely insane. Take a look on board here with the Mercedes.
Yeah, riding on board with Antonin, and that was so close. No, and I'm just amazed that he never lost it and went into the wall. That was, like you say, that was good car control.
Passing more GTD traffic right now, so the battle is still raging on, and Andre Correa Martins trying to do whatever he can here to find a way past Alexander Vincius de Brito. Right now, lap traffic has not been in his favor whatsoever, and it looks like Brito has just barely held on to that position for now.
Absolutely, just up ahead is the leader of LMP2, Johan Harf. He's actually not pulled away as much as I thought he would. He's got a gap, but these guys behind him, Alexandre and Andre Correa Martins behind him, are I don't know if it's me or not, but it looks like they're closing him down quickly.
It does look like that, doesn't it? I mean, this is take a look at the gaps here for the past few laps. They close in half a second, 3 laps to go, but they have lost about 2/10 again in the past couple laps, no doubt because of their own little scraps and because of lap traffic that played a bit into the factor there. But they do have Johan Hart in the sides. That's him in the number 1 machine right up there, just up the road. This is 2nd and 3rd behind. You see 4th place just cresting the hill in the background. So Johan Hart still has to keep himself honest here, because these 2 drivers behind him, they're going to be ready to pounce if he makes the slightest mistake.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Imola as well. If you catch traffic in the wrong place, it can cost you time, and it can give the advantage to those behind you and close up massively. So that's Johan Harf, when it comes to lapping the traffic, he needs to be careful and he needs to be patient and not do anything silly.
Correa Martins Martins lost quite a bit of time, and Ravat's car broke around on him in the first part of the corner. Had to kind of back out at the exit a bit to save that machine, so he's lost quite a bit of time. Oh, one of the Ferraris just spun. That's Fabio Unverdrust that's just had a spin. That's the number 20 Ferrari 48 GTLM machine that has just gone around. He was in the battle with GTLM. So was this with contact? We've seen the majority of these GT crashes come from contact so far. BMW potentially for the car just behind him. Up the side, didn't just lose this one on his own. Oh no, there was a little bit of contact to send him into the grass. Oh, and he clipped the barrier, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just clipped the anti-cut as well, and it unsettled the car. And from then on, he just there was nothing the BMW behind him could do. Just no time to react. So just an unfortunate incident.
So there's the cut with the anti-cut curves. Yeah, a little bit of a tap there, but nothing the BMW could do. And then yeah, just kind of body slammed the the left side wall on the exit of the Villeneuve chicane. So that is going to put a big damper in the number 20's day today, as there you see some of the some of the LMP2 traffic coming up just up behind him. This is the battle for second place now. That is just up behind him. So this is going to be a bit spicy here, because there's a lot of GTLM traffic up the road, and they're also fighting hard.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, just looking at these GT cars on the home straight now, and Johan Harf manages to get by one of the BMWs, and he's got 3 other cars in front of him as he heads down to turn 2 and turn 3, and Kenton Cook just kind of bogs him down a little bit.
Oh boy, here we go. Heads up here. Andrea Carrera Martins gonna have to follow his competitor through here. They're gonna go up the left side of these GTLM cars. They're not gonna get past in time though. This is gonna really check up De Brito here in the midst of this battle. So all of a sudden, Martins trying to find a way through. Gonna have to go all the way around the Ferrari on the exit of the Tosa hairpin. Gets run wide onto the AstroTurf, but they somehow get through without any major incidents. So great drive there for the LP2 traffic to really read the situation and get these passes done cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, both of them run massively wide, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those corners. If you take too much of the exit, I think you can get a slowdown. Amazingly, both these guys managed to get round the GT traffic without any issues.
Yeah, they still got some more traffic up the road here. Watching De Brito right now catch one of the other BMW runners just up the road. So this is going to be quite interesting here. They both managed to get around the left side cleanly, so no dramas there. Still more traffic up the road though, so they're definitely far from being out of the woods.
Yep, as they come back onto the home straight now, and they've not got as much GT traffic as they had before on the previous lap, but still you can never afford to make any mistakes or rush a decision when they lap in GT traffic. So again, they're having to be careful, but Johan Harf is still leading at the moment, and he's increased that gap and used that traffic to his advantage.
That he has indeed. So Andrea Carrera Martins, what can he do? He's caught up to De Brito again. Bit offline though, as he was still trying to get around one of the BMWs just behind him. A couple more machines just up the road. I believe one of those is a Porsche, as a matter of fact, as well. In fact, it is. So you got another BMW, another Porsche just up the road. And now Martins is already close to De Brito, so De Brito's got to make some short work of the 2 GTLM machines just up the road here.
Yep, and as they get by one of the GTLM cars, and ahead of them they've got another GTLM car which they should be able to get by before the chicane, as they're going up the hill now, and
Tight there off of the Aqua Mineral corner down through the Alta chicane now, and so far they've been doing a very fantastic job, really. These 2 LMP2 drivers, they've been doing a fantastic job to make sure they keep it out of each other and they keep it out of the cars. Mostly, I guess Antonio Titus would beg to differ, but I'll tell you what, I mean, this has been a really thrilling battle to watch here, primarily because of the lap traffic. I am noticing that De Brito is taking a wider entry into the second part of Ravatsa there, and I think that is what's allowing him to get such a good pull down the straight here, because he's taking a wider angle through the corner. He gets a little bit more speed going, and Martins just can't close up on him before they get down to Tamburello.
Yeah, it's one of those straights that you've got, if you want to try and make a move on someone, you've got to try and get a great run in the exit of the final corner. But I think maybe these guys are maybe using the same sort of like downforce configuration, so that's a good possibility.
Imola is very much a momentum track. It's a track where you have to be able to roll the car through the corners because you're just not going to be able to get it on outright speed. It's not like Monza where it's just hard on the brakes and hard on the gas and you're going to be fine. You really need to know how to roll the car to the center of the corners. It's a lot like Laguna Seca in that regard. I mean, that's a track as well where you really have to be careful with how you roll the car to the center, especially this middle section of the track. I mean, this section right here, the Mineral Complex. This is... Oh! And the Corvette gets dumped by Carrera Martins, who I don't think expected him to come back across the track like that.
Yeah, I think, again, I don't like a person in blame, but Carrera Martins should have been more aware and just kind of maybe slightly backed off. But I can understand that if you're in a battle, you don't want to lose too much time. But as we're just about to take a look at the replay of the incident, and it looks like I don't know, I think... I would,
oh, that's a really good. That was a really good shot right there to show the story. That was. I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. I mean, Martins was really trying to get around the outside of him. The Corvette didn't expect it to go for passing because you don't really lap people there at all. He was just trying to come back to make the corner and just didn't expect this to take place. So take a ride on board with Reese Newland there. You're just gonna watch as Martins never even had the nose in there. There he has around the outside, but I mean, what is he really supposed to do there?
I think Reese had every right to stick to his line because I thought something happened there, but yeah, Reese had every right to stick to the racing line because Kimichev had issues.
Oh, that's Vlad Kimichev in GTLM. He was the second place runner. Now he's down to third. He was actually one of the guys that started pretty far up the order. So Vlad Kimichev, unfortunately for him, he had a lot of LMP2 traffic behind him. So was this another interclass wreck? We'll have to take a look here. That's the number 30 machine trying to go through along with Johan Hart. Oh yeah, I think that's a bit more clearly on Kimichev right there. That 30 machine was definitely the 30 car though. Okay, so that's actually a good point that Connery just notified us of. That was Claudio Visparelli, the driver that took him out. He's 7 laps down from the GTLM machine that he dumped. So the race leader, Johan Hart, is behind him, should know, but the 4 machine didn't have the blue flags for the 30 cars. So, I mean, that puts a whole new type of, I guess, context on the scenario, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I don't know what the 30 car is doing there. He's several laps down and getting in the way of the race leader, and as they've got a battle side by side heading in LP2 heading down to turn 2 and turn 3.
That is De Brito still trying to hang on to third. They split the Mercedes as Martins is still trying to go at him. They've got Tommaso Carla just behind them as well, so just there through the Villeneuve chicane, so they've got to be careful here. But that was side by side through Tamburello there for the top for second and third place in LMP2. So the battle's still heating up here. All of a sudden, Martins has closed that gap right on up.
Yep, absolutely. And Tommaso Carlo in the background, just waiting in the wings, and we know how quick he can be. And sometimes he can be a bit aggressive and go for the moves, but he's just waiting there. And so far it's been a bit of a quiet race for him. I was expecting him to be up there in the mix, maybe challenging for the win, but he's still not too far behind his battle for second and third.
As long as Johan Hart isn't clean, I have a feeling there's no way that anybody's going to be able to get really close to him. Johan Hart is going to have to make a mistake for these drivers to close on up to him. I mean, he's just been having such a dominant run so far today. But now as they start to catch GTD traffic now, this is where it also gets interesting. Now they're going to have to duck around the left side of the Audi. And all of a sudden, Martins is right there. He's close enough to make the dive bomb this time into turn 1 for Tamburello. Might actually be able to get him here by the time they reach the starting grid. So Martins up the inside. Can De Brito try to fight back here down into turn 1 of Tamburello? No, he does not. De Brito backs back. That is second place firmly held there for Andre Carrera Martins.
Yeah, that was a great move. He managed to get a great exit in the final corner and carry that momentum and get the slipstream down the straight and managed to get the move done. And Brito doesn't make much of a big deal of it.
That's not over yet, though. De Brito's now driving his way around the outside of one of the GTD Mercedes, cuts across his nose and nearly gets taken out in the process. So that 15 car is still very close to Martins. Martins is not out of the woods yet. Alexander Vincius De Brito might try to fight this one.
Absolutely, they both go wide again, and yeah, these two drivers have to be careful because if you take too much of a basically like exit or on the outside, you can get a few off tracks or 1X's, so you have to be careful.
I mentioned the slowdown penalties and the exit of the Aquia Mineral is another thing you got to take a look out for. Now, this is going to be interesting here, Rovazza. Historically, throughout the race, De Brito has been getting a much better run off of Rovazza than Martins has been able to get. So this is the part of the track where De Brito really shines, but he's got a Mercedes in the way that's going to cut him off. That is not going to feel very good for the 15 machine, because all of a sudden he can't get the wide arc that he's been using to get the run so perfectly off of Rovazza. So all of a sudden, his plan to get that spot back, he might have just been completely screwed over by Antonin Titus, who was the driver to tangle with earlier, keep in mind, when they're trying to battle, so he might not really be too inclined to let them through easily. Meanwhile, the battle for GTD is also on, as Matthew Stagg is under fire from Philip Bursawell.
Yep, and he's trying to make a move, and Philip's trying to go for the move, but he's taking a wide entry to try and maybe get a switchback or try and carry the momentum, but Matthew Stagg's under huge pressure at the moment, and that LMP2 car, they might have just it might have held him up a little bit.
That all started, oh my goodness, big dive there from one of the LMP2 machines. He's going to split the battle up, but as I was saying, that whole mess actually came from when the LMP2 car ducked up the inside into Villeneuve and just couldn't get the pass done. Yep,
as they head up to the chicane now, and Matthew Stagg, he's been pretty quick in GTD this season, and he's having a great race, but he's not getting it as easy as for the final round of the season, and Philip behind him is putting him under huge pressure.
Still have to deal with LMP2 traffic. I believe that was Johan Hart that just ducked his way through the mix here in the LMP1 category. They've got the battle for second place just behind them as well, so this is about to get all sorts of spicy as third place in GTD comes down to pit road just behind them, leaving Bursawell to thoroughly duke this one out here with Matthew Stagg across the start finish line down towards Tamburello. Is he close enough to make the dive bomb? No, he is not. He's going to have to wait for another attempt. Meanwhile, I think we might have just had a swap in LMP2. Not quite, actually. Andrea Carrera Martin still just barely had a De Brito, but he definitely had to go defensive for a brief moment. Now they're right on your GTD battle for the race lane and ducking up the inside, and De Brito's getting the short end of the stick here.
Absolutely, and this just gave Martins a chance to just build a little gap behind him, and Brito is getting held up massively, and Martins is just taking advantage and trying to just build a little bit of a gap and try and get away.
Fourth place goes by as well in LMP2. Tommaso Carla manages to get his way through. He's actually closing in now on De Brito as well as a result of all of this. So all of a sudden, it could be De Brito finding himself on defense once again for the final podium position here if he keeps getting held up like this.
Absolutely, and I'm just looking further back in the LMP2 class as well, and Casey Kerwin started 15th. He's up into fifth place at the moment. An absolutely fantastic drive.
Remember, he was collected in that pretty big off earlier on in the race when he went 3 wide at Tamburello. Definitely a gutsy move, to say the very least. But yeah, Casey Kerwin, he said he had a lot of work today after he had both his laps validated, so he's been doing an absolutely fantastic job to keep himself up in these top 5 positions. I think that's as high as he's going to get, though. He's got a couple of LMP2 cars behind him, but the good news is that they are all laps, or they're all behind him already, so he doesn't have to worry about them necessarily going after him for the position. 6th place is pretty far well down the order, so that's very good news there for Kerwin.
Yep, so basically Kerwin just, like you say, is just basically by himself, and he just needs to keep on track for the rest of the race as they look back at the battle in GTD for the lead between Matthew Stagg and Philip Bursawell at the moment, and Philip's basically put huge pressure on Matthew for most of the race so far as a P2 car goes by then and doesn't affect the battle too much, and Philip he gets a great exit, but the hairpin he's not close enough to make a move.
It's been interesting for Matthew Stagg because it seems like Philip Bursawell is the driver that they were catching on the exit of the corner, so he's not really too affected. But Matthew Stagg, he's having to check up a little bit because otherwise he's forced to go side by side with lead lap traffic through the middle of the corners, which is going to cost him to lose out on the lead. So he's having to sacrifice 10th after 10th every time a lap car goes through by braking a little bit earlier. And that is really hurting him here but the way he's been doing it has allowed him to keep the lead because he's been able to always get back to the racing line to cover off Burstwell and make sure that he can capitalize on the exit.
Absolutely, and yeah, these two in GTD have pretty much pulled away from the rest of the field. So the battle for the win is between these two as it stands, and Matthew gets a little bit wide on the exit of the chicane, and but still manages to keep up the momentum on corner exit, and Philip again is not close enough. I think Philip's best chances on the home straight if he can get a good run.
Now that's the big question though, is if he can get a good run. So let's take a watch here. We'll see if Burstwell can get the draft. We'll see. We know how powerful the draft is. Oh, check that! Matthew Stagg is coming down to pit road.
Yep. So Matthew Stagg, I think he realised the LMP2 car was coming to cut, was just about to come up and lap them, and I think he took the advantage not to lose too much time.
So now let's take a look back to another battle here between Vlad Kimichev and Tyson Mayer. Remember, Kimichev had that bit of a moment just earlier on in the race, and he's been trying to recover ever since. The question is, what can Kimichev do here? He's exactly where he started, should note. So he is in the third position, exactly where he started today, but he was up to second. So he definitely wants to get back up to where he was prior in the race today.
Yep, as they heading into turn 2 and turn 3, and Tyson's maintaining that gap at the moment, and it looks like Vlad can't really close up. And I don't know if I was Vlad and you see prototype traffic coming up to lap you, or if you're him anyway, but I think it's maybe worth a gamble pitting early and maybe trying to do an undercut on Tyson.
The field has been pretty split up as a result of some of the pits that we've been seeing today. Johan Hart, meanwhile, is coming down to pit road, and I believe Martins and DeBrito are also down as well. So the battle for second place in LMP2 is going to come down. That is fourth place, just behind them, Carla. That is also down in the lane. Should note, this race has absolutely flown by, just like the season has. We already have just above 15 minutes to go, so we've already done half an hour of this one, and we didn't even notice we were halfway through.
Yeah, I was just about to check how much time's remaining, and I thought it was only about 25 minutes, but yeah, it's just amazing how quick this season flown by, and also this race as well, as the top four as they're getting going again.
Martins is out first, but right behind is DeBrito, so this might get a little bit hairy here if so this is going to be, and this is another battle in the pits here between Stagg and Burstwell that's in the pit road. So Burstwell right now, Matthew Stagg on the track right now. He's having a struggle with the BMW though, and he's not wanting to let that BMW through at all. He knows he needs to keep that BMW behind him. So Stagg is going to be out of going to be past the pit road right now. Burstwell is already out of his pit box and crawling into the pit lane. That's him right there. Watch from Matthew Stagg here. He's just now across the start-finish line. Burstwell might have beaten him out. There's Burstwell out of the pits. Matthew Stagg's right there with the BMW, who's really covering here. They're going to go 3 wide for a brief moment there. Stagg just barely passes him back on the pit exit.
Yeah, I thought Stagg was going to lose out there after being held up by traffic, and amazingly he managed to keep the lead in GTD, and Philip Burstwell has got it all to do again.
Coming down now to the replay, this will be the look here on board with Matthew Stagg, and watch here as he gets the draft big here from the BMW, and actually manages to almost pass him back. There is Burstwell just out of the pits there on the right side, and that is so close, passing in the braking zone. Burstwell has to yield because he's technically not up to racing speed yet. That was unbelievably close. Meanwhile, the LB2 battle is close again. DeBrito has closed right up to Martins.
Yep, so it looks like as they come across the line now, and Tommaso Calo is still waiting in the wings in the background, as it looks like Brito's trying to make a move on the outside, heading down to turn 2 and turn 3, and they can't really make a move.
Forced to back off here as Martins goes defensive, not letting them get side by side through Tamburello. DeBrito trying to come back on it for Villeneuve. Deeper on the brakes. Martins still hanging on to the position just up the road. They've got more GT traffic to deal with here. Martins flashed the headlights furiously saying, "Get out of my way." He's in a battle here. Gets a bit of a tap there from DeBrito through the Tulsa hairpin. Just off of the corner now. Coming up to the Paratella now. Still have Eric Newman to deal with here. Both LMP2's dive up the inside.
Oh.
That was a close one there. Oh, both cars run so wide off the exit.
Yeah, talk about pushing the limits, and yeah, just watch it. Look who's closed right up now is Tommaso Carla.
Yep, Tommaso Carla has closed in as well, so it really is a 3-car battle here for the second position now. Now, right now, Martins wants Carla to try to pass De Brito, because that means that is going to slow both of them up, probably enough for him to pull a pretty substantial gap over them. So to see them side by side right now will be a dream come true. What is a dream come true is to see Free 10K in his Porsche really holding them up here through Ravazza.
Yep, as they go by Freak on the home straight, and it looks like Martins has managed to get by the Porsche, and then Brito does as well. So does Tommaso Carla, and Carla's closing up on Brito, heading down to turn 2 and turn 3. Carla tries to go for the move, but Brito defends brilliantly.
Carla not getting too desperate just yet. He knows he's faster than these two guys, and he knows he has the speed to get it done. He's just not too desperate just yet with still about 12 minutes and an estimated 8 laps to go for the overall race leader. This is for GTD, as also it just changed for the race lead as well. So Bereswell is up into the race lead. They're trying to let through LMP2 traffic. Now Matthew Stagg trying to come back on a Ravazza now. So GTD battle for the lead. It's high up as well as they're side by side on from Ravazza. This is one of those drag races that I was talking about at the start of the broadcast here, Ryan.
Yep, and it looks like Bereswell's got the move done, but he's not. Matthew Stagg's using slipstream to try and get alongside again, and this is going to be a battle into turn 2 and turn 3 of the late breakers.
Indeed it will. Battle of the late breakers. Who's going to win out? Bereswell losing out on the inside line. Clipped the anti-cut curves and nearly lost the back end. And Matthew Stagg once more inherits the race lead, but only just. So Matthew Stagg doing a brilliant pass there around the outside into the Tamburello chicane. I think that has got to be one of the best passes we've seen all race so far.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the best moves of the season, and I'm amazed that never ended up in contact between the both of them after Bereswell clipped that anti-cut, and both of these guys managed to give each other just enough room as well, so great but hard racing between these guys, and a lot of respect.
Great career. Martins still do battling with Alexandra Vincius De Brito here in the battle for second place in LMP2. Johan Hart's continued to pull the gap. It's up to about 5 seconds now. Martin's still flashing his headlights furiously. He's struggling to hang on right now as De Brito is just doing everything he can to try to close on now. Tommaso Carla has really dropped back. That big angle of GT11 traffic, that is where Carla is right now. So he's lost touch to the battle up here though, but it is so close between these two that have really been just going back and forth all race long.
Absolutely, and it's so hard to predict who's going to finish in second and third at the moment between these two. I think you're right, Nolan. I think Martins is maybe struggling with rear tyres, and I was watching him on the exit. That was so close to being a collision in the chicane, but Martins seems to be losing grip on the rear tyres.
Brito goes through as well on the GTD machine, so the battles are certainly getting strong. Martins up the inside. That was a very late dive bomb into Ravazza. Just behind is De Brito, still trying to struggle to find a way through. Right now, Martins is using the lap traffic perfectly as a picture to try to make sure that he can hang on to whatever ground he can. He knows he's got to survive for just 10 more minutes, but then he is going to be safe and sound to take second place in the season finale of the iRacing Online IMSA Sportscar Championship in the final season of 2020 before we move on over into the new year in just 2 weeks' time. Right now, though, Martins, I think he's got a bit of a gap, so he can take a bit of a moment to breathe here, but certainly not a very big one.
Yeah, he can't really afford to relax too much because Brito is still hanging on but Martins is he's really struggling at the moment. Just especially in the slow speed stuff, getting on the power, he just doesn't seem to have any traction. So I think Brito, he might be able to make a move, but I think his best chance of making a move is again on the home straight.
Been a bit of a while since checked in on GT11. This is a battle for second place in the GT11 category between Tyson Mayer and Vlad Kimichev. This is a battle that has also been close throughout the course of the day. Kimichev still trying to reel in Tyson Mayer right on the back end of it. Now they're on the cusp of GTD traffic just up the road here. Got an Audi and it looks like potentially Mercedes as well. They got to dart their way past. So Kimichev and Mayer both going to go to the left side of the Audi down the pit straight here. And this battle probably not going to come quite as far down to the wire as we saw that LMP2 battle get, as Kimichev still closing in, but still not quite able to really make the move. They still have one more Audi just ahead of them.
Yep, and I think that was so close, as they're both going side by side down the home straight, heading down to turn 2 and turn 3. And it looks like could have a move done, and you've got GTLM traffic in front of them in the form of a BMW.
And they're both going to get their way by cleanly, more or less. This is really getting all sorts of tight here. I mean, this is one of those moments where you just close your eyes and you just have to pray that they don't end up taking each other out. Martins right now, these two guys have been battling like it's the last lap ever since the pit window 10 minutes ago. So this is just absolutely unbelievable, the sort of stuff we're seeing here. And they've still got quite a bit of traffic up the road here. They are not going to be able to get clear traffic before the end of the race.
Yeah, I think traffic is going to play a major factor in this battle in the closing stages. As it's been a fantastic battle to watch, but there's been some close moments. And in front of them, they've got a GTLM Porsche and a GTD Audi in front of them heading up to the chicane, and this is going to be interesting.
Martins trying to find the inside, can't get there. That allows DeBrito to close in as Martins put himself offline for the inch of the corner. Both drivers going to have to go left now to get around. We run the board. DeBrito's the Audi comes across the track, nearly cuts him off, staying side by side here. DeBrito, what in the world was that all about? Just completely shot himself in the foot there. I don't know why he slowed down as much as he did. He had no need to do that, and that has just sent this battle for the LMP2 second place up in smoke.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things when you're lapping a slower class car. It's you don't want to cause an incident, and you kind of lift off a little bit. But I agree, you didn't have to. As the battle for the lead in GTLM is going on at the moment between Andrei Borcha and Tyson Mayer.
And that is Vlad Kimichev just on the wings as well at the tail end of the train. So it's a 3-car BMW train heading up the field here in GTLM. Johan Hart, the overall race leader, just behind these guys. Hart might have to be a bit patient here because these are 3 GTLM machines that are battling for their own class lead. Different lap, yes, but still with 5 minutes to go. That's not necessary. You don't want to be known as the driver that split up the battle for the race lead here. Managed to just barely slot himself in between the 2 cars, and now he's going to go back to the right. So thankfully, Johan Hart not splitting this battle out too much. All 3 cars still nice and close.
And also, Johan Hart has got a reasonable size of a lead. So, yeah, he done the sensible thing. Just he was patient. He didn't do anything silly, and passed all 3 GTLM cars when it was safe to do so, and he didn't do anything silly to split the battle up.
No, he did not. So, like I said, it's been a little while since we've checked in on GTLM. I mean, really, throughout the course of the season, all the action has really been in the LMP2 field throughout the entirety of the season so far. So it's good to finally check in on some of the big BMWs. Vlad Kimichev, Tyson Mayer, and good old Andrei Bocher running 1, 2, 3 right now, and still trying to see what they can make of each other here in the closing minutes of the race. 5 minutes remaining, an estimated 3 laps for the LMP2 race leader. Here comes Kimichev trying the outside of the Tamburello. Ends up not going for the move as Mayer came to cover him off.
And they need to, the battle for second and third is coming up to lap this battle in GTLM as well. So both classes have to be careful as it looks like Martins gets up inside without any issues, and again Brito just gets held up slightly.
Oh, DeBrito held up big time here now. Oh my goodness, nearly wipes out second place there in the process. Poor DeBrito is just being all sorts of checked up here. This is not at all good for him. This is just, it's has the pandemonium here right now in this GTLM battle as the LMP2 battle darts its way right through.
Yeah, that was too close for comfort, and Brito, I think he's getting a little bit frustrated by the looks of it now, and he's running out of time to try and make a move on the Martins. But I think at the moment Martins is just doing enough to hold on.
Martins still has quite a bit of a gap up the road, so we'll keep our eyes here on this battle for the class lead in GTLM. Coming now to 3 minutes to go and 2 laps as well. Johan Hart is just now approaching the pit straight, so 2 laps estimated to go here. my goodness me. This is just... I have a feeling we are in for one heck of a finish here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we could be in for some fireworks in the closing stages with 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining as this battle in the GTLM for the lead comes across the line, and Andre Borsa is just doing enough to hold on, but Tyson Meyer, I think, is watching what's behind him instead of what's in front of him.
And Tyson Meyer right now really has to focus on defense, because right now Kimichev is the one that's threatening him more than he is able to threaten Bocher, and that is what Bocher wants to see. He wants those two to get side by side so they slow each other out. There is Casey Kerwin. Just in the background there, he's going to have to be patient as well. Bocher runs wide onto the gravel off of the Villeneuve chicane. That costs him about a tenth or so.
Yep, so it looks like Borch is feeling the pressure now as well, and riding on board with Casey Kerwin coming up to lap this battle for the lead in GTLM. He gets by Vlad, he just about gets by second place in GTLM, but doesn't manage to do it, but he does now, and Andre Borch is defending the inside, blocking a little bit. He doesn't want to get held up too much.
Easy there, Casey. Remember, you've got a big gap yourself back to the 6th position of your class. You're definitely not catching 4th unless he crashes, so no need to really push it hard just yet.
Yeah, as this battle's still going on for second place in LMP2, and yeah, they've got GTG traffic in front of them, but they'll get by in the home straight, and it looks like Martins is feeling the pressure again from Brito, and Martins again is struggling with getting on the tracks in on corner exit, and it looks like Brito's got the run.
Whoa!
Holy moly.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a block. I mean, that's got to be the block of the season right there. You saw what was at Suzuka. That was something different. But this is the last lap combined, so DeBrito knows this is his last chance here to find a way through. So is it for these guys. Kimichev might try the inside of the Tamburello. Can't quite get there down in the turn number 1, so we'll keep our eyes here on this battle for second place here in the LMP2 category. DeBrito's got to try everything he can here. They're on the last lap. They're not going to get another chance. So this really is DeBrito's one and only chance to try to find a way through. Martins, what can he do? Will he be able to successfully hold on? That is going to be the big ticker question here. They are just now in the run down to the Aqua Mineral chicane, so oh my goodness, it's still nice and tight here. DeBrito, he's got to be patient. He's got to make sure that he does not throw this one away too early. They're in the run to the Varianta Ultra chicane, then up to Ravazza for the last one today. He might get one more chance here. It's not going to happen in the Varianta Ultra. He might have to do it here in Ravazza, a place we have not seen pass his work all throughout the entirety of the race. Meanwhile, for Johan Hart, he's just now into the final corners. Will this be the last lap? In fact, it will. White flag officially in the air. Johan Hart wins an LMP2 here at Imola. DeBrito, meanwhile, struggling to close in. He's not going to get there. Not enough time. Martin second. DeBrito in third. And that is going to wrap up the LMP2 battle. Still on, though, in GTLM as Andre Bocher gets set to take the win.
Yep, they're coming around the final couple of corners now, and it looks like Borch is going to hold on, and Tyson Meyer is going to take second with Vlad Kimichev in third.
Tyson Meyer second, Kimichev third, not able to close it in either. What a move there, though, for both these drivers. Matthew Stagg, the last driver to finish it off now. He's just off of Ravazza now. If you can, I would love to get another look at that massive block down the front straightaway, because that was something different. Matthew Stagg wins, though, in the Audi R8 LMS for GTD, and a well-deserved one at that after a hard-fought battle with Philip Burr as well that lasted all the way up through the pit window. Matthew Stagg, you have certainly earned this one today.
Yeah, that was a well-deserved one after that fantastic battle with Philip Burr as well, and what a race. I'm like you know, and I would like to take a look at that replay.
This is going to be it here. This was in the run down to Ravazza, coming to the white flag. So we bats up a little bit because we want to see if there's anything that happened here. There was a Mercedes that was in the way. I have a feeling that Mercedes definitely had to play it. Oh, it did. Martin's got a little bit checked up on the exit there. That allows DeBrito to close in. DeBrito tries to look around to the left side. And look at Martin's. Oh, my word. That is... wow, that is gutsy there. Martins is so lucky that DeBrito did not send him off into the shadow realm.
Yeah, I was just I think I have to agree with our director as well. That was it looked like that was two moves.
Yep, there's one. There. Oh yeah, that was two moves, and that is when it typically becomes excessive blocking, at least in the road racing category of things. That's typically frowned upon. So I'm not sure the Burrito will be too happy about that. But take a look at this with the air. This will really show it here. So watch it. There's the first, and there's the second. That's it. They're just so slight, but the little jerks really tell the tale. That's a bit iffy for me.
Yeah, that was very, very naughty, and that was it. That was a very late defensive move, and well, basically just naughty in general.
Well, let's take a look now at the post-race results in the season finale here, the IMSA Sports Car Championship. Johan Harth takes victory, and LMP2 dominated the race, as he did at Le Mans, and in fact at Silverstone last week as well. Andre Carrera Martins takes up second. Alexandre Vincias de Brito rounds it off in the podium position. Tomas Sakarla has to settle for fourth. Case Kerwin, 15th to 5th. Good move there for Kerwin to get himself into the top 5. Valentin Mandanash in 6th. Alan Albert in 7th. Andrei Sovinsky in 8th. Cesar Cabral in 9th. Borja Zazo in 10th. Lorenzo Zaffoli 11th. Calvin Chu 12th. Scott Wood 13th. Claudio Vesparelli not finishing the race in 14th. Nathan Block even further down the order in the 15th position. For GTLM, Andre Bocher holds on to take the race win in his BMW M8 GTE. Tyson Mayer in 2nd. Vlad Kimichev has to settle for 3rd place. Started 3rd, finished 3rd in his class. Antonin Verdredu is in the 4th position. Julian Sonnen in 5th. Vili Levanian in 6th. Jack Thompson 7th. Kenton Kosh 8th. Fabio Unverduras in 9th. Freak Tankate in the 10th position for GTLM. Christopher Hyman in 11th. Tobias Ogradnuk in 12th. Corey Whiteman in 13th. Reese Doolin 13 laps down, not finishing in the Corvette, rounding out the 14-car field in GTLM. Matthew Stagg takes victory in GTD. Philip Bersual just 2.3 seconds behind him in 2nd position. Francesco Urata in 3rd. Antonio Titus 4th. Martin Citizen in 5th. Thomas Cavalier in 6th. Gianni Laiho in 7th. Eric Newman 8th. Burak Taha Bolat in 9th. And Philip Mayer rounding out the top 10 for today. My goodness, Ryan, what a way to end off the season.
Yeah, that was absolutely just nuts to say. There was great battles in every class. So we had that battle for 2nd and 3rd in LMP2. We had the battle for the win in GTLM. And we had that battle in GTD between Matthew Stagg and Philip Bereswell. And just what a way to round out the season. Then I have to say, this season in general has been absolutely fantastic.
I think this kind of goes without saying. There's been a lot of moments in this season, a lot of very, very fantastic moments. You know, you look at what we had at Suzuka, you look at what we had at Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta was, I think, one of the best races we've had all season, arguably, apart from the one here at Imola. What stands out to you from the season? Like, what would you say some of the best moments, so to speak, we've seen all season so far would be?
It's a difficult one to answer, but I think there's just been so many good moments during the season. I think I don't know. I think like yourself, I think my favourite race had to be Road Atlanta, but just because of the tightness of the track, it just produced great racing. And so there's been some moments at this season. At times it's been a bit controversial. Also, we had that race between Dominic Gademeyer and Casey Kerwin. That was a bit controversial in the closing stages. That was probably my standout moment with Casey Kerwin coming out on top.
Indeed, it was. I think that was at Indianapolis, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Yeah, that was certainly something to say at the very least. But I mean, Case Kerwin did a very good job to prevail throughout that entire thing and take that position back and finish high in that race as well. Oh my word! I mean, this has just been. Considering this is the first Friday night primetime season I've been able to do, I mean, this has just been an absolute pleasure. I mean, this is definitely something that I think was well worth the time going into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you, and it's been a pleasure commentating on the IMSA Sports Car Championship this season on Friday primetime alongside your good self. And hopefully we can do some stuff together again in the future or even next season.
Next season, of course, is going to be pretty interesting as well. I still have to wait to see what we're going to be covering next season, but hopefully, whatever it is, it's just as exciting as this one. I think then that is going to be all the time we're going to have really for this season, the final IMSA race of the 2020 season. This time we go for Friday Night Primetime action. Might be IMSA, might not be IMSA, but it is going to be for the first race in the 2021 season. I have been Owen Rempo, bringing coverage from this race from start to finish with Ryan Walker with me in the commentary chair, Connor Maddock behind the cameras for today, and the brilliant cameras provided by It's Them Below and TrackCams22.com. What a season it has been for the Irish IMSA Sports Car Championship. It has been an absolutely thriller. We have to thank again every last person that has watched us from start to finish for joining us for all the thrills, all the spills, and everything in between. We thank you all for joining us once again here on Friday Night Primetime on RaceSpotTV. You guys have yourselves a good rest of your weekend.